All is fair in love and war.
Miss Daphne Bridgerton.
Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to episode 2 of First Eps. We recently watched the first episode of the all-new Netflix series Bridgerton. Sexy, stylish, British period piece. And we're here to talk about the first episode with you. So, I'm Eric.
I'm Keith.
And this is First Eps. So for this episode of First Eps, we watched Bridgerton, Netflix, brand new series, getting all the rave reviews. So, we had to do it. Set in 1813, when we first find out. Oh, before we get into that, let's talk, before it even starts, the bullet points at the top of the thing: sex, nudity, sexual violence, and language.
Mm-hmm. So we know we're in for an HBO type experience. I was interested to see where we were going to go with this.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm all in. So it starts off. Let's just talk about. It starts off immediately with the narrator.
All right.
Talking about things that are happening in wherever this is set.
London? I don't know.
That does it. That works.
We'll say London.
Yeah. Oi, governor. London.
London. Oh, London town.
Exactly.
That's my accent. Yeah.
You nailed it. That was your best accent you've ever done in the history of the world. I'm sure throughout the episodes, people will see that as well. All right. So right away, you see it's super stylish, colorful, well shot.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is beautiful. Like the costumes are gorgeous. There's just everything's popping,
Yeah.
I loved that right from the start.
Like bright yellow gowns people are wearing and kind of pink bows and stuff. Just very, eye-catching. Absolutely.
Everybody's getting dressed up for some reason and introduced to like 1,000 characters, like all at once, like right away.
The whole posh crew we see. Yeah.
Yeah. And they all look the same because they're all wearing like very similar clothes. So I'm like, oh boy. This is going to be like another Game of Thrones. Dude, I didn't know Game of Thrones characters until like the third season.
It didn't. I mean, Game of Thrones too. And in fact, I thought, I wonder if there's going to be magic powers evolving over time in this.
Maybe. Who knows?
We'll see. Yeah.
We've only watched the first episode. Maybe it's all just unicorns and
yes, dragon men who are shirtless and chapless. Yeah.
Probably very chapped. So yeah, they're all preparing for something. We don't really know what it is they're preparing for right at the beginning. And then one of my first notes, the first sex scene is 3 minutes into the series.
Again, the whole Game of Thrones element, we're starting out strong. Yep.
Exactly. So then we come to find out that these families are presenting to the queen. There's the Featheringtons and the Bridgertons. Those are the two big families that we see.
The Featheringtons are the ones with the 3 daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they got the feathers. I guess all the feathers when they come and get presented, but yeah.
Penelope, Prudence, and Philippa are the Featheringtons.
Right. So far they kind of have a they've kind of been playing them as kind of like a Cinderella's wicked stepsisters kind of vibe.
100%. That's exactly what I thought too. Except for Penelope.
Penelope, redhead, right? The shorter one.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was great. She just didn't give a fuck. She didn't want to be there.
Nope.
She wanted to read her books.
Right.
At one point, she was just reading her book, and I wrote down the quote. Her mom says, "Put that down. You'll confuse your thoughts." That was great. So yeah, it's all about presenting to the queen. For and then she picks like the most, like the Bachelorette. This whole episode, it seemed like I was watching like a British 1800s version of the Bachelorette.
I love it. Yes.
So strange. So yeah, and then we should mention so when we go and we see the queen, the casting was completely colorblind, just all races. It's
very diverse, which was great. Yeah,
obviously not historically accurate for the time, but it was super cool to see. I mean, we'll see throughout the series that, or even the first episode, accuracy as far as history is not paramount for this series, so
yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool to see.
It was cool. I remember I actually read an article or something from the I wish I knew his name, the guy who plays the Duke.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that one of the things he really likes about this project is that it shows people from all different backgrounds and races, really, that they can all have kind of fun and live in this opulent time period, and nobody's kind of cast to a certain position or a certain job. They can all kind of be royal and live it, and that's why you want to be part of this, to show that everybody can have a little fun. I thought that was kind of cool.
I loved it too. Yeah, especially making the queen a woman of color. I was like, that was super cool.
Yeah, she's fun too. I like her.
She's a bad bitch, dude. Right there, like,
and her hair is like 14 inches high. It's just up there. You can't see my hands, but yeah, she's got it going. Oh yeah,
up into the clouds.
Oh yeah. That's how you know she's got a lot of authority too. The higher the hair.
So, so we get through that, and then some of the other characters we meet along the way. We initially meet a very, very sassy man on a horse, who we come to find out is the Duke, Duke Hastings, who is like, I wrote down a word for him, smoldering. That was my.
I have to say, it's just natural for me to compare this week's leading men from the Winx Fate saga,
sure.
And I find these ones to be much more eye candy for what I appreciate. Yeah.
A little more sophisticated. That's what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about the poor man's Wolverine with his
wait, is that the one?
Sideburns, the main brother.
The older brother, right?
Yeah, those sideburns are awful.
The sideburns are bad, but he, he's fills out that kind of like pirate swashbuckling style. Although I guess he's an aristocrat. But yeah. I mean, as one of my friends says, my friend Michelle says, I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers. Wait, I wouldn't kick him out for eating crackers in bed. There was it. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Strike that, reverse it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we come to find, I mean, he loves banging. That's other thing we learned. He's out there just banging down the ladies.
Yeah. But he's also very he's also has a great what's the word? He thinks about time and his promises, because often when he's banging, he's looking at his watch too. He knows he's got to get back out there again and fulfill his duties as Vice Duke or whatever he is. Yeah, not quite as high as a Duke, but
he's the Lord.
Okay.
He's the Lord of the Bridgerton Manor.
Okay.
So obviously, like, that means they don't mention it in the episode, but their father had passed away, obviously.
Okay.
I don't think they mentioned it.
Well, what is a Lord though? Is that like, that's a title, right? But like, because that's lower than Duke. But are they like a Baron? Are they a Marquis? I
think it's just the
Lord of this.
Like, he's the Lord of their manor, the estate. So he, obviously governs over his people.
But he's not an earl. We don't have a more title like Duke. He's just Lord, because Lord is not really. That's what you call them, I think. But I don't know if that's his title.
I don't.
What does it say on his big bird? Like, Archie now is like, from Her Royal Highness Duke Duchess la la la, right? What's on his birth certificate?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in episode 2. I don't think we know what he does in episode 1 or what his
what their title. Okay,
as of right now, just Lord.
Okay,
so we'll see. But and then we go to like there's a weird ball, which was very much just like an episode of The Bachelorette.
Yes,
they're
right.
Trying to, like, I don't know. It was weird. It was just all these dudes trying to, like, get with the girls, and like, well, I guess we should. I mean, the main story. We got right into this, and we're talking about it. We don't mention again Daphne Bridgerton, who
right,
is the girl that the queen loves. She's the belle of the ball.
Yeah,
we'll say.
Yeah. And we find out about this, right? Because it's set up in this kind of flyer that's circulated through the higher classes, and they're all reading about this from this Mrs. Whistledown, right?
Lady Whistledown, yes. Yeah. So she's writing, and that's the narrator. We come to find out the narrator, right. Lady Whistledown, voiced by Julie Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
And she puts out like this tabloid, basically, that like talks about all the families in this town and like who's hot shit and like
Who's hot, who's not. Yeah.
exactly who's 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Right now,
Who wore it best? You know, that whole thing. Yeah.
at the beginning, Daphne Bridgerton was hot.
Yeah.
The Featheringtons, not.
Yeah. Yeah. And the queen saw that too and commented on Daphne's
Mm-hmm.
brilliant look, her spark.
Yes. Yeah, she has it. So,
And then we went to the ball.
yeah, and everybody's just trying to get with her, and like she just doesn't want to. She has some sort of, without getting too into any spoilers or anything, she has like, you could see sparks kind of flying with her and the Duke at some point.
Yep.
You know, so it looks like that might be the relationship going forward. I don't know, but she's like at the ball, like this super creepy dude.
Oh,
I couldn't even look at him.
no, me.
When he's drinking like the
Me neither.
lemonade, it's just like
Oh, yeah.
lemonade.
Made me so uncomfortable.
Match.
You've always amused me, Miss Bridgerton, ever since I was a schoolboy and you were.
Oh, but 5?
Miss Bridgerton!
They really cast him well.
Yeah, for sure. Like he was, hard to look at, and then he really he inserts himself into her life quite a bit. So it makes it even more uncomfortable the further it goes.
Like it seems like he knows like when the brother has gone away to like the men's, like the boys club, like literally the boys club, and then he comes over and pops over and talks to her, like and because of social pleasantries, the mother has to leave her alone because wants her to at some point get married because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Unless you want to read a book and get made fun of by your other mother, so you don't want to do that. So anyway, so Daphne has to sit down there and talk with this man, and it's really awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
We have it.
good. So he does get, she gives him a little something to think about later in the episode.
Oh,
that
was great too.
But another thing I want to mention, and I didn't realize it until we get to the ball, but I recognize this song. Everything's like this string symphony, and I was like, this song, and I realized it's Maroon 5's like "Girl Like You," and I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I looked it up, and like all the songs are like current songs that are done by Vitamin String Quartet.
Oh, cool. I've heard of them. Yeah.
Ariana Grande, Maroon 5, Shawn Mendes, Billie Eilish are all in there, done by this quartet. So I was like, that was really cool. I liked that. Another thing showing that, like, the historical accuracy is not paramount for this. Like, love when stuff does that.
Yeah, it had a lot like behind me is my Versailles oh god. My Versailles background. And it reminded me of the Marie Antoinette kind of movie like that, the Sofia Coppola one too. She kind of woven in some new songs with it.
Yes. I love any movie that does that. Take like a like even like going back to as far as A Knight's Tale. Do you remember that one?
I do. Yeah.
That one they had like they're singing "We Will Rock You" in the stadium, whatever.
I forgot about that. Yeah, with Heath Ledger, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's a conflict of sounds.
It is exactly, but it works so well together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brought to you by.
It's fitting this beer for that.
What is the beer of the day? What do we have here today?
This is a double IPA with peaches and vanilla from Community Beer Works.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's very good, delicious.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about one of my favorite scenes, of course, the opera part. Now,
I knew you would like that part.
Anytime I see a good opera scene, I'm invested. And of course, what goes better than at the opera than gossiping, a little court gossip?
That's all they did. Like the entire time, it was just them. Like it was Mrs. Bridgerton, Lady Bridgerton, and this lady like talking shop.
I think Duke's aunt. I don't know who she was, but yeah, we saw her too. She was rich.
Yeah.
And they were gossiping, and then they started plot like maybe if my godson got together with your niece or nephew or daughter, whoever they were. We're still kind of learning who these people are, and I forgot. But they're singing, they're watching people, and I really felt that was for me. It was a scene that got me involved too more. So I was excited about that.
You love the opera.
I do. It reminds me, because I do go to the Met here in New York, And often I'm, whispering to who's ever in my box with me, and we're gossiping about the person 2 boxes down. We get shushed a little bit. I've been thrown out once or twice, but the point is that we're living high society, and that's what I wanted to see, and I saw it in this.
Yeah, you are the Lady Bridgerton of
of the family circle, the highest box seats in the Met that are only $25. Yes.
They're just talking the entire time.
The entire time with a fan, just looking over. But you know what? And that's what you do in those days, because I've watched a lot of these kind of period pieces, and I know we go to the opera and we goss.
You talk shit about people.
Exactly.
These poor people are singing their hearts out down on the stage.
About what? Who knows?
No
you
one
know what I mean? It doesn't matter because,
opera language, whatever that is.
Right, exactly. I mean, I have no idea what they're singing about this time either. But, again, everyone looked great in it, and it really was another scene that was, bam, perfectly regal scene. Yeah.
Again, back to the point of it just being a beautiful looking series, just nailing those shots.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 100%.
But so that's pretty much the gist of the episode. There's a lot of more like things that happen, obviously, like setting up relationships, and we're learning about more of the characters.
Right. Yeah. I found myself. Oh, go ahead.
How cool was that outdoor party when they get the lights going
towards the end? Oh, that was so cool. Yeah.
That thing, I was like, dude, this is so beautiful. Like, just like the way the whole thing was just lit up with these strands of lights that they powered somehow. I don't know.
It was gas. I don't know what that would have been, but
it was cool though.
It was so cool. And actually, I think that was the moment when I actually went from being like, this is okay, to actually like being under the spell of the show at the end. I actually felt like there was a moment where they were dancing, where Daphne and the Duke were dancing with each other, with like the sparklers were kind of going up in the background.
That is exactly what I wrote on here. Fireworks ending, all in.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, all right, dude, the stylishness of it won me out. Like, because I was the same way. I was like, the story is very similar tropes that we've had before.
Yep. Comedy of manners and trying to outdo each other through.
Yeah.
Like, who knows who, and what have we heard, and how do we position ourselves for the public eye and attention?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, so like, and then they're like trying to couple to benefit each other, but obviously, like, there will be more to it. It's like, like She's All That and all those teen movies. But so that was that point for me that kind of like really, I want to see more of this world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of that, there's some folks we want to see more. I just heard my cat. Sorry about that. If you hear him too. I don't know where he is. But speaking of that, I forgot about the Featheringtons had a surprise guest who came in halfway through and kind of threw everything on its head. We missed talking about that too, because that kind of was a monkey wrench thrown into some people's plans.
It was, yeah, because like, Daphne Bridgerton was the literal belle of the ball up until this
like a Cinderella
comes in and becomes the new hotness.
And yeah, it's interesting because and whereas Daphne wants to be, but is kind of being blocked from her brother, this new girl who's now, I think, the cousin of the Featheringtons, kind of like the redheaded stepchild, if you will. But she doesn't have red hair. But kind of like, that's the redheaded child. I was also like that. But anyway, but she comes in and she gets all the attention that she doesn't really want, it seems like. And so we're kind of learning more about that too as the episode goes on. And I'm sure that's gonna be a lot more, drama's gonna be brought in with that too. It seems like it's just starting up, which is interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, this episode, it really did set up a ton of threads. Like, there's a lot going on with, I mean, everybody, just the Featheringtons, all, because they have grandiose plans, and just their daughters aren't going to cut it.
Yeah.
The whole Bridgerton family, we just got a little bit of the family.
I was confused with them. There's so many of them. I didn't know that the one brother. There was a younger guy who danced with the redheaded girl from the Featheringtons, the younger one, the reader, the one that we like, the likable one. Penelope, yes. I didn't realize that he was a Bridgerton too until the very end.
There's a lot. There was more than I thought.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, right at the beginning, dude. There's so many characters, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea who any of these people are.
I wasn't alone. Okay.
So yeah, like, it really did set it up, and I'm definitely interested in watching more of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't immediately fall in love, like you said, but I do love the style. Surprisingly, like, so this is produced by Shonda Rhimes.
Mm-hmm.
Did like Grey's Anatomy and like
Right. It could be more different from Grey's Anatomy, I feel. Like in terms of the way it looks. I don't know Grey's Anatomy very well. But I just this seemed more like a Sofia Coppola film to me. It was just lush and
very stylish.
Very stylish. Yeah. Like I felt like all the cinematography was just point spot on, gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what really like brought it home for me. The soapiness of the storytelling and stuff that Shonda Rhimes usually like has in her series, like is one. We'll see how that goes. But
and you've watched Grey's Anatomy, right? You like that show?
Yeah, I think we watched up to a point. It kind of jumped the shark at some point, and we're just like, all right, enough.
Okay.
And, like all her stuff is very popular, but like it's a lot of it is just more of that. Just like great storyteller, but like so it's very like weighty, but like I don't know. It's sometimes it's a little much. But
like a soap opera kind of feel? Is that what you're? Yeah, like
exactly. Yeah, but like a higher quality soap opera.
Yeah.
So this is based on books too. So it's already, it's already written. I don't know how similar it is to the books. The books are basically like steamy romance novels. Like there's a lot more sex in the books.
Okay.
Than there was on the show. So, so you'll have to read the books and let me know if it's.
Oh yeah. Maybe we can do that as a spinoff. Just like
we'll do a First Eps book club.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I love it.
I just want you to just read the books and just highlight the sex scenes for me. So
okay.
All right. We'll just read those.
We'll do that next, and we'll do a recap.
Perfect.
Recap next week. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's give it a rating.
Oh well, and tell me again, we're doing for ratings again.
I don't remember, but I say
I did pick up the song for this one.
Oh yes.
Now I was trying to find one, so this one just felt right for it. Let's see. Oh, is it playing? This is Handel. Music for Royal Fireworks. And I felt very royal, like I was watching something, like I was part of something during this, and I wanted to know more. So I did enjoy it, and I felt like I was, seen behind the royal scene in this new world that I really wanted to learn more about. So I did really like it a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So,
in terms of
scale, I think it was like binge it, watch it. I'm gonna put it and watch it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A little much to like sit there and watch like multiple episodes because it's very like the characters. I don't know. Like I said, the characters. We'll see. I mean, we're only at one episode in, so we'll see how the characters progress. But right now, they're a little cookie cutter. There's not much there. But I'm
going to watch it more for the Duke myself, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. Like the pretty people in a pretty world with cool music and like fireworks. Like I'm a child. Just show me.
Just give it to me.
Pretty lights and like a couple butts maybe now.
Yeah, exactly. I think we got a couple in the first episode too. So yeah.
We did. We got a few butts that just kept me hanging on.
I was gonna say for episode after episode, keep it coming back. Yep.
So the IMDb score of this is a 7.3 out of 10. And a lot of the reviews I read there were a lot of negative reviews.
Okay.
A lot of them were fans of the books that weren't happy with the way this turned out. And then also a lot of them were what I would describe as racists who are not happy with Black people being introduced into 1800s England and think that's like, this is not okay. Like, so there were a lot of 1-star reviews stating that.
Because of that.
Like way too many. Like,
okay. I mean, isn't there enough other shows out there for them to go and watch if that's what they wanted to get out of this? I mean, come
weird,
on.
Like that.
It's new. It's different.
Yeah.
It's sexy. Get with it, people.
Exactly. So they kept saying like, I mean, their PC way of stating their racism was, historical inaccuracies.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, if
Yeah.
you want something historical, go watch like a PBS documentary. This is not meant to be an accurate historical portrayal of 1800 London.
Yeah.
Stupid. But
I mean, it's like historical fiction, and that's what we're here for. I mean, that's bullshit. Yeah. Regardless, I think it was great. I think it's cool. I think it broke some barriers myself because it actually showed people of color and didn't even flinch. There was no backstory as to why they're here, what they're doing here. They just belong there, and that was awesome.
yeah, I agree. It was completely just like, let's not even mention it. And it's like, and we shouldn't even have to mention it. But obviously, like it's pissing some people off. So it's cool. I'm down with it.
I feel like they're doing something right then. Go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny though, you mentioned about the other group though, which are the people who that's a trend. Because we saw the same thing with the folks who read the books and were disappointed. And we saw the same thing, I think you mentioned with the Winx one too, right? The people who knew Winx beforehand.
Yes, exactly. Dude, people are never happy.
Yeah.
Fans of something are never happy. Being like a lifelong comic book fan, I am one of very few people that do not watch like some sort of interpretation of a comic book and say, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's a separate thing. Just go with it. Like, it is what it is. Like, as long as you enjoy them separately, what's the big deal?
I don't either. I don't know. I mean, that's the way I thought with Game of Thrones. I mean, I loved the books and I liked the TV shows too. They're sure they were different, but that didn't, for me, take away that I didn't have to like the TV show just because it didn't follow the books to the T.
You can like both things.
Yeah.
Separately, and one or the other. And obviously we found out like, Game of Thrones it's both in our top 5 lists.
Yeah.
Like I almost didn't put it in there because it shit the bed so hard in the end of this show. But this isn't a Game of Thrones episode. We may have to do one just so we could like get out our emotions about the series.
Yes.
Maybe after the book comes out in 2029.
When we're in the home together, it'd be perfect.
Yes. Exactly. We'll be on episode 799 of First Eps.
Perfect.
All right. So that is our episode. That is Bridgerton.
That's Bridgerton.
Ep 1. We got to find something for next show. I know we talked about Lupin. That's pretty popular still. We'll take a look at that. Maybe we'll see what else is potentially coming out on the streaming services. That's going to be the new hotness.
Ooh, can't wait.
Yeah, we'll see. So thank you guys so much for watching episode 2, for listening to episode 2 if you're getting it on one of the audio podcast services. So yeah, please rate us 5 stars, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you here next time for episode 3 of
First Eps.
Thanks.
Oi! Welcome, folks.
Boy, I was going to wear a top hat.
Oh, you got the pint of Guinness? Oh, no, I don't know what it would be.
Don't do accents, dude. They'll tear us down.
I was going to say, that's going to find up on the floor.